Hello. Dinner is done. I made it. We're here. What a two really good basketball games that we got to watch at the end of that while I was eating dinner. That was nice. Nonetheless, you know how a lot of times I come on here after games they win or sometimes games they lose, and I don't really necessarily agree with the result. And, they were not good in games they win or they were great in games they lose, and everyone gets all mad. No, 7-2. They must have been amazing. Today is not that. Today is very clearly, despite the 3-2, I know it was a close game. It could have gone the other way at the end. I don't know. Granted, once you get to the third period against Calgary and you are winning, they lose. So you pretty much thought the Golden Knights were going to get there anyway. Nonetheless, this is a game. I don't know that I can find much of any flaw, like on the grand scheme of the entire game. I liked how they played in the offensive zone. I liked how they played in the neutral zone. I loved how they played in the defensive zone. I don't think there's a single player that you can pick on that says he wasn't good enough in this particular game. Like, go down the list. Who was the worst player on the Golden Knights today? And that's the type of thing that, like, that's what you want to see. Those are the games that really explain how this team can potentially make massive noise in the postseason, can make things happen against whoever they play. Because we all know, if you've watched enough Golden Knights, especially over the past couple of years, you know when they go up there, when they go to Calgary, it usually does not go well. And even the games that do go well typically end up with them on the wrong side of the physicality, or there's something goofy going on, or whatever it happens to be. We usually don't come out of there feeling like, ooh, this is it. This is what we wanted to see. And today, we got it all. Like, it was every single part of it. And the one piece, before I get into all the things that I like, I kind of wish the game had lasted a little bit longer at 0-0, and that stretch pass, that very first one, like, if you tell me they're going to score 2 out of the 6, I would have preferred to have seen them not be the first 2, if that makes sense. And the reason why I want that is because I want to see, will they stick with this longer at even strength when the game is tied? Like, that's part of what I want to see. We didn't get to see that. They've scored first every single game on the road for quite some time now, and it's been in the first 15 minutes of the game, so we haven't gotten to see a ton of that. That's something that hopefully we don't see, and they just score first every time, but that's the other piece. But let's not get into that too far. Let's talk about what went right in this particular game. I'll start defensively, because I think that's where the best piece of all of it comes in. And that is that defensively, I think it started with gaps. It was not as good in the first period. It got way better as the game gone on and was terrific down the stretch. Even in the 6-on-5 situation, I thought it was pretty good on the penalty kill, like all of it. The gaps were really good. And it wasn't just defensive gaps. It was reloads coming back to really squash the game down on a team that typically would be willing to throw the puck in, get it in deep, and then come down and chase you. It didn't seem like they wanted to forecheck today. And I don't know if that was in the scout before the game, or that was something that's been happening with Calgary. I can't say I watch a ton of Calgary games. I don't know if that's common. However, in this particular game, they did not want to throw the puck in and go get it back. And part of it is, early in the game, the Golden Knights were breaking it out. The first period, that's where we saw something really good, which was constantly utilizing the wall, utilizing the middle of the ice, utilizing D-to-D. Thompson was going back and getting a few of them. He's not particularly great on that, but he did get it a couple of different times. Like, that's what you wanted to see. And then as we moved forward, that's where we got to the point where now they don't want to throw the puck in. Now we can shrink those gaps down, really jam them up at the blue line. And they were making mistake after mistake after mistake. And that's what we need to see. That's the way that this team is going to generate a ton of offense going the other way. Because when you make mistakes at the blue line against the Golden Knights, that's what feeds transition. That's why the Golden Knights went to 1-1-3 neutral zone last season. DeBoer thought, this is our best way of scoring goals. We need to get more of these. And we saw them get some of it. I didn't think it made the difference that he was hoping that it would make. They need to get more of those. And today was a game that, like, they created those transition chances. These were not handed to them. There was 1, maybe 2 of the 6 or 7 that they had that I felt were handed with them. But mostly the game was created to get those types of plays. The stretch passes, that's something I tweeted about this, and it's something I'm super excited about. looking forward to the playoffs because we finally have a coach that I think is actually going to be kind of honest about what's going on. He's going to say, these are the things that are going right. These are the things that are going wrong. And we're going to get some insight into what's happening. I also think he is the type of coach that's going to put in certain pieces of the game that are going to be very noticeable to us. Things like we saw today. They came into this game. You don't see those plays that often from all the different types of players that are making it. If Shea Theodore hits a stretch pass here or there, so be it. Eichel hits one, so be it. But when it's Eichel, Theodore, Amadio hit one, Pietrangelo hit one. There was one that White Cloud tried that didn't quite get up there. Like all of these different options, when you're seeing that, that's a wrinkle they're trying to put into the offense and trying to put into what they're doing. And it was there all night long. Their two defensemen stretch out and they crunch down. They want to come closer into the zone, and they're usually all the way along the edges getting towards the boards. That allows someone to slip through the middle. That's what we saw all night long. Like I said, I'm excited to see what types of things like that we see in a postseason series as we get there. Next thing is exits. Exits were really good early, very good in the middle, and then kind of fell apart towards the end. But for the most part, it wasn't bad turnovers. It was exits where the opportunity might have been there to get it out, but instead we end up with a 2-on-2 board battle. The puck's, hemmed along the wall, and we end up with nothing really all that dangerous that comes out of it. That's what you want to see. If you're not exiting at a high level, at a high pace, and at a high frequency, you have to be able to make your mistakes in safe ways. I thought they did way better at that today. Still choking on the dust in my house. It's better today, but it's still not great as I look at this sheet covering my kitchen, which I'm assuming there's even more dust behind that. Nonetheless, exits were, I think the exits are what set up the entire game today. The strength of the exits in the first period helped them get everything going the rest of the game. It helped the stretch passes open up because their forecheck pushed in a little bit more. It helped the opportunity to get the gaps later in the game. It helped all of it. I liked every single piece of that. But then the part that really has not been good at different times, hasn't been as bad this year, but hasn't been very good and has been a huge problem in the postseason, was spectacular today. And that's the ability to get in the middle of the ice and then win the battles when the puck is thrown down towards the goal and they can make something happen when the puck is sitting there. Far too often in the past couple of years, specifically in the playoffs, we saw opportunities where guys would throw the puck towards the goal and the Golden Knights stick wouldn't be there first, or they wouldn't necessarily win an even numbered battle. They're very rarely outnumbered in front of their own goal, but they don't always win those battles. Today, they won all of them. Every single one. There's only one that I can think of that wasn't necessarily one, and that was the stoppage that the puck was kind of bouncing around and then came out and they poked it in, but they called it dead. I thought it was dead. Like watching it back, I thought that was dead. So that's what you need. They're there. The goalie has it. It's a little bit loose. Not that big a deal. Play was dead. The Golden Knights had it. They were clogging the lane, shooting lanes. There was not a lot of great opportunities to get shots off. They're blocking shots. One, Kessel, like unbelievable. Dude flings a shot and he just bats it straight down and takes it out. Like, oh my God, that's what we want to see. Don't bat it towards the goal, bat it down and take it out. Really good. Like every single battle in front of the goal, they were winning. And it's against a team that they don't win those battles against. So that is also very exciting. Lastly, in the defensive zone, I think that's it. Yeah, lastly in the defensive zone was the way that they kept them to the outside. We talk about this a lot, but today it was more so how they were doing it and what they were able to do to make it happen. And what it was that this team will cycle the puck. This team will throw it back in, rim it all the way around. And the Golden Knights were doing a really good job of not chasing all of these plays. Oftentimes, we'll see the puck go in, they'll chase, and then it comes out on the other side, and there's opportunities for the puck to come across quickly, switch sides, and they catch them out. Yellow puck shifts, as I call them, because the puck goes along the boards and picks up all the yellow paint along the dasher boards. When teams play yellow puck shifts against the Golden Knights, there's two things that can't happen. One, they cannot allow the puck to go out to the points and be unchallenged. They have to have someone up there to make the play reset quickly. They had that all night long. Two is the two defensemen cannot be caught underneath the goal line. Can't have both of them underneath the goal line at the same time. Sometimes one can go down there. Can't have them both. 0 times the entire game. 0 times did we see that. Really good. Loved that. And I'm seeing some comments about Kessel. Let's get to that next. But let's first tell you that all Periscopes, including ones that start at 10 o'clock at night on a 6 o'clock game because I forgot to eat dinner in the second period. I don't know what happened there. I was going to make dinner and then I didn't. Nonetheless, here we are late at night on an earlier game. All these Periscopes are brought to you by Conlon Associates CPAs. Tax day is not that far away. It is March 23rd. Tax day is April 18th. Do the math. That is... I don't know how many days away. I was literally trying to do it, and I failed inside of my head because I don't remember how many days March has. Nonetheless, tax day is not that far. It's some days away, something in the neighborhood of like 30 days away. You need to make sure that if you need any help with your taxes, 3 weeks, thank you. If you need any help with your taxes, go to conlercpa.com, KONDLERCPA.com. Tell them SinBin sent you. They'll hook you up a free consultation. They'll talk Golden Knights with you. They'll help you with all your difficult tax situations or your easy tax situations. Whatever you need, go there. They will help you. They are fantastic. Trust me, they are the best. I love them. They are so good with all of the help that I need every single year. I look at my taxes and I think, damn, this is going to suck. And instead, they help me every year, and it's much better, especially if it's a small business. They're great. Or crypto tax. I took out some crypto not too long ago, and I'm going to need them next year to help it out. I agree. Conler is the man. Not sure about the associates. Most of the associates are him, too. There are other Conlers in the building, and they're also associates, and they're great. There are some other associates that aren't Conlers. They're also fantastic. Okay, Kessel. Phil's passing today was spectacular. Like, the best game I've seen in the offensive zone. Oh, look at this. Thank you. Happy to be here. Golden Knights all the way. Thank you, Midnight Lobster. I appreciate that. $20 super chat. We have not gotten a lot of those this year. That's okay. I'm not asking for it. I really appreciate when you do it. Kessel was fantastic. Really, really, really good. Did he not? Oh, no. Did you not mean to give me $20? If you didn't mean to give me $20, send me a DM. I'll send it back. I hope you didn't do that. Okay, I'm going to keep going. But seriously, if you, you spelled Knights wrong. Okay, that's better than not accidentally giving me $20. But seriously, if you did mean to put it at like 9 or something, I'll give you the money back. It's fine. In the offensive zone, one of the things that bothers me with this team is the lack of creativity. They typically don't do a lot that really pulls players away from where they're supposed to be. Disorganizing the defense. It's a Greg Berhalter term. I like it for hockey as well. Hockey and soccer are the same game. One's just played on ice. Phil Kessel was doing that today. Phil would hold the puck, pull a player out, and then hit somebody in behind a different player. We saw it on the goal. The key to that goal, so he gets the puck from Stevenson. Good job, Stevenson, getting that turnover. By the way, Stevenson, excellent. Best game he's played since the All-Star break, I would say. I don't even know how many points he had. I don't really even care. He was not a number one star. I thought he was fantastic tonight. That was good. Like, I think I said this not on goalie interference yesterday. What if Chandler Stevenson's awesome? Well, he was today, and we got a better game. One of the better games the Golden Knights have played in a while. Kessel receives the pass from Stevenson, and instead of immediately trying to hit Wah, he waits it out and allows the player to come towards him to then slip it in the triangle between the stick and his two skates. Easy pass, but it's a big-time play because of the patience to pull him out. We saw that. We saw cross-ice passes. We saw Kessel holding the puck underneath. We saw a couple of different opportunities where he made really good plays to keep the puck alive. I talked about the defensive play. Like, that was a big-time game from Phil Kessel. We have not seen ones where he's really one of the better players, if not one of the best players on the team. He was it today, and it goes down without him even scoring the goal, even though he's gotten a couple in the last couple of games. Oh, my God. You are very nice. I appreciate it. There you go. Thank you, Midnight Lobster. Can't thank you enough for that one. It's when you look at this particular game and you look at what the Golden Knights need to do moving forward, and obviously if Smith is out, things do change a little bit. they can't rely on any particular line to dominate offensively. It's not going to happen. They don't have a super line with Mark Stone out of the lineup. I'm not even sure they have a super line with Mark Stone in the lineup and Chandler Stevenson on their left. It's good. I don't think it's super dominant Draisaitl and McDavid, or Rantanen and McKinnon and Landeskog, or Kucherov and Point and Stamkos. Like, it's not that. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. It's a very good first line. Without Stone, they don't have a true dominant first line. They probably will have the lesser of the first line in most of the teams that they're going to play against in the postseason. Maybe the first round is a little bit better just because I think it's possible. Yeah, that's a good point. This Periscope and Future brought to you by Midnight Lobster and Conlern Associates. Seriously, though, I appreciate it. They're going to have to get offense from up and down the lineup. And I don't necessarily think the fourth line has to generate if the third line's doing the types of things that they can and that they need to. So in this game, the first line was awesome. They were creating all the time. They got the stretch pass. They hit the goal early. They were very good, generating a lot. I didn't like the pass Eichel to McNabb. I'd like to know what was going on there. I wonder if he didn't know it was McNabb coming back. But either way, I didn't particularly like that play. That puck just needs to get in deep. We're in a bad situation. He's up there. I think he's a little too comfortable up by the blue line. I wonder how that's going to work out in the playoffs. Nonetheless, let's get back to the good things. Second line, generating a lot, not necessarily finishing. I think that's potentially going to be an issue as we get into the playoffs. The third line is the one that could potentially make a difference. And they have the players that have the ability to do these things when we've seen it. Today, we saw it. Stevenson was good. Kessel was very good. And then Wah was, I thought, really good in his return. Obviously, it's tough because there's, the situation that he's in coming off the injury. It's going to make it difficult. But I thought he was pretty darn good. So that line, as always, we talk about this all the time. We've been talking about this for years. It was Alex Tuck. It was, who else was on that line? It was Tatar. It was Perron at one point. All of these different guys. Haula was the hope that one year. We're supposed to push the envelope forward to Donoff last year to help the third line generate offense. When the third line generates offense, the Golden Knights can score 3 goals a night. When it doesn't, they're going to have a hard time generating 3 goals a night. And I understand that they've been coming at different times. Yeah, Tatar. But they need it from that line. And today, I thought they were good defensively as well, which is a big part of what they're going to need and how these matchups are going to start coming into play. It's interesting to me how much better they seem to be depth-wise on the road than they are at home. I don't fully know what to make out of that one yet. Maybe I'll dive into that a little bit more. Special teams, I didn't love it today. I guess that's one part that I didn't particularly like. The power play is still a nightmare. I don't think it's going to get better. I don't think Nick Waugh is going to change it. I'm sorry. Mark Stone's the only way that it's even getting a little bit better, and I'm not even sure it'll get that much better if that were to happen. I don't know what to make of it. Penalty kill, I just didn't think was quite on its game today. The play in front, it's kicked in. That could potentially be a goal. I think there's a possibility where that goes the other way at different times. I'll talk about the other one in a second, but it wasn't on its P's and Q's today, I would say. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't particularly great. So I'd like to see that pick up, certainly in the next game, understanding that I think next game's a big game for the penalty kill, because I do think it's probably seemingly pretty likely that they're going to play Edmonton at some point. If you're going to get to the Stanley Cup final, I think Edmonton's going to be in the way at some point. I guess it's possible they play LA and LA beats them, but I'd like to see a good penalty kill game in the next one. Obviously, Smith not being there is going to hurt. Not sure how that's going to work out. Wah being back helps a little bit. But yeah, this is a big opportunity in the penalty kill on the next game against arguably one of the best power plays of all time. Their percentage points down at the moment, but it's possible they get there. So we'll see what happens there. What do I think happened when Thompson at the end of the game? Well, there's twice that Thompson skated off. The time with the goal out, I just think that was a mental lapse. I don't know what happened there. I'm still guessing what they said on the broadcast was he thought there was a delayed penalty. I can't imagine that he's just going to skate out of the goal when the net's off. I really don't believe that. However, it happened. So it's the right call. They knock the goal off. The puck goes in the goal. It should not be a goal. They probably should have got a stoppage. I guess his thought is maybe he knows that the puck is off. They don't have to stop it when it goes down the other way. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's possible. I don't like that. If that's the way we're playing it, just stay in there. It's just not worth it. You could be wrong. I think that's the main part is like, it's possible you're wrong that somebody got pushed in. As far as what happened in the other situation, I think he rehurt himself, and I don't think it's good. I said this before. It was a concern I had when they made the goalie move, and it's a concern I've had for a while with the situation that they're in, is that this is a rare opportunity for all of the guys in the net for the Golden Knights. It's a rare opportunity for Thompson, who didn't think he was going to really have much of an NHL career, and here he is now as the starter in the All-Star game, one of the better goalies, if not the best goalie on the team that's leading the Western Conference. Like, this is a rare opportunity. It may not come back. He knows that. He's not going to sit there and wait until he's 100% to come back in. It was coming. Whether or not he was going to hurt himself, we don't know. But I was concerned about that. And of course, it ends up happening in the first game. It's concerning to me. It's a rare opportunity for Brisebois. It's a rare opportunity for Hill. And in many ways, now it's another opportunity for Jonathan Quick, who I think most people want to push him out of the league at the end of this season. And he's sitting there saying, I'm not done. I don't want to be done. Here's an opportunity for him to take a net. And he's going to be pushing himself to make something happen. He's historically been healthy. I would hope that he can stay healthy in there for them. The big part to me in all of it is the playoffs. Like, these games, as much as, yes, we're happy with what happened in this particular game, there's a lot of things that I can go over and be happy about how these games went and what happened in a game like this. And there was a lot that you can be very happy with. But the goalie situation is going to continue to get more and more and more confusing as we go forward. And it's just going to bring strife to a locker room that doesn't really need it. And again, like, people can deny it. People can say it's not going to happen. It is going to happen. Like, it is going to happen. You will have people thinking I should be in the goal, or he should be in the goal, or whatever. It's going to be difficult. Doesn't mean they can't play well. Doesn't mean the goalies can't perform. Doesn't mean they can't pick the right guy. It just makes life a little bit more difficult, where I think it could have been easier in the situation that they had they just rode it out and not brought someone else in. We'll see. Again, I think Quick's going to play playoff games. I said it the day they traded for him. I'll say it now. I think it's even more so now. The odds went up even more. I don't think that's good for the Golden Knights. I just don't. I'll stand by it. I don't think he's the right goalie behind this defense or for this system. I just don't. And it's mainly just because I don't think he is the player that he used to be. And it is what it is. Age catches up to guys. That's really all I have. If anybody has any other questions, go ahead and pop them in the comment section over there. Again, Conler and Associates CPA sponsors all of these Periscopes. They are my favorites. I love them. They are tax representatives that can help you at any time. Go to conlercpa.com before March 18th. I would recommend it. Or if you don't want to make it by March 18th, file an extension. That's a real thing I found out last year when we were doing these. You could file an extension. You can actually file an extension after May 18th or April 18th. So there you go. Look at my last super chat. Oh, okay. Sorry for the low tip. Yeah, I think you're going to be okay. How do you think this team before LT left is going to go far in? How far? What? I can't read this. How do you think this team before LT left is going to fare in the playoffs? All right. Sorry, buddy. I figured it out. I got there. How do I think they're going to fare? I think the matchup is going to be important. They're going to have to score. I think that's obviously very important. Who it is, Edmonton's the one I'm a little bit confused about. Are they going to get a ton of chances and be able to outscore Edmonton? I don't know. We'll see. LA is an interesting one. Winnipeg scares me because of the goalie, but I think that defensively they'll be a wreck enough that should give the Golden Knights goals. Like, Dallas concerns me. Certainly Colorado concerns me. Minnesota would be a weird series. I think the Golden Knights would be favored. I think they're a good team. I don't know that they're the best team in the conference. I certainly don't believe that they're the best team in the league. more games like tonight and doing this to more different types of teams will lead me more down that path. It's like 16-3-2 since the All-Star break. That's going to help too. Like, they've been playing really good hockey. It hasn't always matched up on the analytics. Today was a little bit better. They had the lead for most of it again, so I don't feel as much of that. And yeah, everybody, they will score in the playoffs. I just don't, until I see it, I don't buy it. I'll answer this real quick. What's your take on the Baker to the Bucks? I did grow up in Chicago. I just was not a Buccaneer or a Bear fan at some, I don't know. It just didn't happen. I liked Pirates as a kid, and therefore I became a Bucks fan. I say this to everybody that asks me about Baker Mayfield. It is rare that a team can go from the greatest quarterback of all time to the second greatest quarterback of all time. The Buccaneers did that. I feel very fortunate that we now have the second greatest quarterback of all time as the signal caller for the Bucks. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great. Don't worry about the cap. Don't worry that they're not actually any good or that the quarterback's not actually good. None of that matters. What did I eat for dinner? I had a pizza. My house is under construction. There's not a lot I can do. I do not have an oven. I do not have a microwave. All I have is my little pizza spinner thing, and I would have that on a workout bench, and it's still sitting there now with cheese all over it, and I don't think I can clean it until like next week. So do I make another pizza? I don't know. We'll see. How many games is the Iron Man up to? That's a good question. I don't know. If somebody look that up. I don't have that. Want to sing more Guns N' Roses? No, I do not. I absolutely do not. Is Baker Mayfield better than Jimmy G? Probably not. He is very good at acting. I do like that. All right. Heard about Brady and the Aces. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for him. Good for the Aces. Good for Mark Davis having a little extra money. Don't know why he needs that, but nonetheless, not sure why he's selling off parts of the Aces. They're good. But happy. Yeah. He's awesome. So what's getting redone? So the tile in basically the entire house is being redone. So they're ripping out all of this tile that was in there on the bathroom. We're ripping out the tile in the shower, getting new tile there, ripping out the other bathroom that's right behind me, ripping out the kitchen that's over there. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff downstairs. It's supposed to be like a 10-day job. We're on day 4, and I can't believe that this is going to be, we're not even halfway through. What an absolute disaster. But yeah, it looks nice. I'm looking at some of the tiles. It looks pretty nice today. And if anyone was in the Discord, you saw Rupee run through the cement. That's going to be fun when they show up. Hey, good job, Todd, going to Giordano's on Monday. If you haven't tried Giordano's, you should do it. Rupee's feet seem okay. I soaked him in the bath for a while, so if you haven't seen that, ask me for the picture. It's funny. Rupee ran through some wet cement, and there's paw prints all in wet cement, and it's very funny looking. It's not as funny that his feet are covered in cement. I did my best. I'm hoping that he's okay. They look better now than they did 4 hours ago, so we got that going for us. Nonetheless, I'm hoping I hope it's going to be okay. I don't know what happens there. There's cement all in his feet, and then when I try to clean him out, he bites my arm. So it was a great night. Absolutely fantastic night. No, seriously, the hockey game was awesome. Most of those basketball games were fun. I had 2 TVs set up. That was great. I had a good night. It was fun. That's it. Thanks again to Conlon Associates CPAs. Good win for the Golden Knights. Oh, somebody asked me about the read on the injuries. I don't have a massive read on it other than saying there's a massive concern on Thompson. It's probably the same injury. I was under the inclination that it was a hip. That's what I was led to believe by someone. I don't remember who exactly it was. I couldn't get it fully confirmed with a second or third source, so I'm not 100% sure that's accurate. But it did look like, again, that could have potentially been the same thing. That one's concerning. Smith, I don't really know what to make of it. The hit, if you haven't seen it, the hit's on our Twitter. I posted the picture or the video. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to make it. That's it. Good night.